Yeah.
So, greetings and good evening. My name is Michael and this is my friend Juma. So we're going to give a presentation on the power of the girl effect and why the girl effect is so important, and more importantly about an organisation that myself and Juma support and volunteer for called Nurturing Minds. So to kind of give you a bit of background about Nurturing Minds and the girl effect, why I'm talking about this, why I'm involved, and as I kind of just spoke about earlier on, was from my own personal experience when I visited Africa, April 2010, so just over 1 year ago, 13 months ago, I was in Africa for 2 weeks in a place called Tanzania. So not many Americans and Irish people don't know where Tanzania is, so I thought I'd just highlight that map. It's on the east coast of Africa, just south of Kenya. And as Juma highlighted, it's the home of Mount Kilimanjaro, the tallest mountain in Africa, not Kenya. So Juma thinks that's very important to throw that out. So the reason why I was in Tanzania is I lived in England for 3 years. I worked in Merck, on a Merck site there for 3 years. And one of my roommates in England was a Tanzanian. And his sister was getting married in April of last year. And so he invited me out as one of his guests. So I thought this was an opportunity too good to turn down. And I went with my suitcases and all my malaria tablets and all my vaccines, and I was very excited. I spent 2 weeks there. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. And Juma, I'll have to touch on you to talk about the cultural aspect. But I went into areas where the kids were just, it was talk about like a pop star, rock star reception. Some of the kids were just staring with their mouth open. And there's a phrase called mzungo in Swahili. So a lot of kids were coming up to me and pointing, mzungo, mzungo. And that's a term for white person in Swahili. But it's a term of affection in terms of like white people are associated with missionary work when they go to these parts of the world. So I'm going to share with you some of my holiday pictures. So as I said, I spent 2 weeks there, and I spent 2 weeks with a family. I spent some time in Dar es Salaam, the capital, and Arusha in the north. And I went into real rural areas and met these families. The kids in the picture in the top right are kids from an orphanage. And it was the most surreal moment of my life. It was just like Ika, and probably most people in this room, it was my first time out of a first world country. I lived in Ireland, England, and now US. These are all first world countries. My first time outside of that environment. And it really shocked me for the first time coming face to face with poverty. First time coming face to face with an orphan who lost his parents at the age of 10. First time coming face to face with a woman dying at the latter stage of AIDS. It was just heartbreaking stuff. And I remember making a promise to myself when I flew back to America, I have to do something. I cannot forget what I've seen, because it was the most awe-inspiring 2 weeks of my life. That brought me on to my experience with meeting Juma afterwards, and why I decided to join Nurturing Minds. That I couldn't let it go. I could not see these people and forget about it. So, my introduction in this presentation. So I'm going to introduce you to the most powerful person in the world. And the most powerful person in the world isn't who you think it may be, Barack Obama or any politician as such. The most powerful person in the world is a 12-year-old girl living in poverty. Now that's a kind of shocking statement to make, but I want to hopefully at the end of this presentation you'll understand where I'm coming from when I make that statement. If this girl is given the opportunity, if she's given the chance to get educated, she can increase the world's wealth, increase the world's health, not only for today's generation, but for so many future generations ahead. So, do you want to see a 3-minute video that's going to highlight that? Okay. This is where I run into technical difficulties.
Those embedded links, notoriously never work.
Any second now. So that's the power of the girl effect. This video has been created by the Nike Foundation and in association with the Novo Foundation, which is Warren Buffett's, the billionaire investor, one of the richest men in the world. It's got a lot of, the Girl Effect campaign has gained a lot of profile over recent years, the last 1 or 2 years, and it's been, the issue of the importance of girls has been raised at the World Economic Forum, and the voices of these girls we're trying to get their voices heard more because of the impact they can make. There's an African proverb that I think is applicable. It goes by the fact, if you educate a boy, you educate an individual, but if you educate a girl, you educate an entire village. That reflects on the importance, the influence that girls have over their own families, over their own villages, and of society as a whole. When as I touched on before, when I left Dar es Salaam, which is the capital of Tanzania, and I flew back to America, I was in the airport in Dar es Salaam and I made this promise to myself, okay, I'm going to help, but I've seen so many people, so many categories of people, from people dying with HIV, from orphan kids, all these horrible scenarios. Which one do I choose to help? So I came to the conclusion, and thanks to conversation with Juma and my own research, that the root cause of poverty, the root cause of breaking the cycle of poverty, is education. And if you want to have the biggest impact, you educate girls. I know that might be a kind of harsh statement, well, what about boys? But if you educate girls, boys win as well, with respect to what I just mentioned there, in terms of the greater impacts girls have on society. Oh, I forgot to say, please, because we've got the luxury of some time here, if you have any questions at any time in the presentation, hey, how you doing? No, don't worry. If you have any questions at any time in the presentation, please feel free to ask me any questions. You don't have to wait till the end. I need to get out of here. So, this slide highlights what a girl's journey